All right, y'all, this is All of Us Are Dead, and it's kind of a mix between like Degrassi and 28 Days Later. You'll see what I mean. All right, show starts on the roof in the rain. So that means they're either gonna fight or there's gonna be a dance routine. And yep, this kid right here is getting bullied. He decides to fight back, but he gets thrown off the roof for it. Now, this guy's his dad, and he goes to see him in the hospital. Somehow the little boy survived, right? And he in there shaking and saying some wild shit. Anyways, dad takes a book and kills him. And I don't know why he would grab a book in a hospital. There's a bunch of other sharp objects there he could have grabbed, but whatever. Now we cut to the high school, and this girl sees that this box keeps moving, right? And then she opens it, and it's just a hamster in there, strong ass Stuart Little. She decides to try and touch it, and she gets bit. She's now patient 0. Now the first guy's dad comes in at the same time. We find out he's a science teacher, and he's like, yo, nah, you can't go nowhere. And this is where we meet some of the main characters of the show. All right, I'm not gonna pretend like I'm really good at remembering or even saying these Korean names, so I'm giving all of the main characters a nickname from here on out. All right, so 4 friends went to go eat at this chicken joint that's owned by one of their moms. This right here is like the main guy. His mom owns a chicken joint and she named it after him, so we're gonna call him Chicken. Now his best friend right here in the scene before this had a goofy ass smile, so we're gonna call him Goofy. This girl right here says that the chicken is salty, so we're gonna call her Salty. And this other girl, she ain't that important, so she just gonna be Salty's friend. Now, Chicken and Salty are childhood friends, and they low-key kind of like each other. That's gonna be important later. So everybody going to school, and we cut to the scene with this guy and this girl getting bullied, right? Now, the enforcer, dude in the white, we just gonna call him Bully. And straight up, these guys are pieces of shit. They're making this girl get naked and putting her on camera. And she's espresso depresso. We gonna call her Depressed. Then this guy pulls up and he be looking all good and stuff. He honestly reminds me of the dude that stars in the Raid Redemption. So we gonna call him Raid. Anyway, apparently he used to be with the bullies. Now he's not. He tries to save them. It don't work, whatever. Now everyone's in class and this girl in the pink comes in. She's being real mean to Goofy. She just be complaining about everything. So we gonna call her Karen. All right, so while everyone's in Miss Park's classroom, the girl that got bit just walks in. And she's like, yo, science teacher dude kind of kidnapped me. He's been injecting me with shit. I don't know what's going on. So they take her to the nurse's office where she bites one of the nurses. And this is where the infection spreads. Also, there's this girl here in this hoodie and like she's sick. She needed some help. But I guess zombies come first, so she walked the fuck off. Now, a little bit later, Salty tells Raid that like she likes him. And it's kind of important because there's like this like love triangle, quadrilateral thing that's going on. But yeah. Anyway, the police come and arrest Teach. Nurse that got bit bites someone else. Then we cut to Depresso up there, right? She about to jump off the building because she's done with her life. The guy that was getting bullied with her is there telling her not to, but right before she does, we see a shit ton of zombies and like the infection has actually started. And now all hell done broke loose. Salty almost get eaten up, but Chicken comes and saves her real quick. They make it out of a window in the cafeteria and they're running to find some safety. And then they come to this spot and it's almost like a video game where you come to a spot and then like this whole cutscene plays and something wild happens, but that gives you a route to where you need to go. Yeah, this car crashes and allows them to climb up and get back into the building. It happens again right after it with our boy Raid and this girl that we're gonna call Prez because she's the class president. They see a guy on a ladder, he gets eaten, whatever, so they take the ladder and they climb up to the same place where the rest of our cast is. Teacher man getting interrogated by the cop and he's like, yo, you need to like go tell them to quarantine that girl at all costs, but the cop ain't listening. Really could have saved the whole show right there. But Teach explains that like when rats are cornered, sometimes they fight back when they produce some hormone or whatever. So he isolated it and gave it to his son because his son was weak and he thought it would make him stronger to be able to fight back. Instead, that's what turned him into a zombie. I don't think that's how it really worked, but whatever. Next, we see a bus full of archery students and they suck. They just went to this tournament and got their ass whooped and their coach is telling them that they suck. And one girl in particular, she's the one that's important to the story. We're gonna call her Catfish Evergreen because she uses a bow and that's what I was calling her when I watched this. And yeah, so back in the class, Karen is complaining about everything because that's what Karen does. She wants one of them to do something while doing absolutely nothing herself. After getting into it with the class prez, she starts going in on Goofy. Now Goofy was holding the door, but he got mad and left the door, right? Because of that, one of the coaches gets into the room. They all start barricading the doors till one of them looks at the coach and is like, nigga, you bit. Coach ends up turning into a zombie. Then he bites his no-name girl in the mouth. She turns into a zombie. So now they got 2 zombies in the room. Everybody leaves and locks them in there. After creatively defending off all the zombies in the hallway, they find themselves in another room. The only one who didn't make it in is Raid because he stopped to fend some zombies off. We don't know where he's at right now. We see Bully over here sacrificing people for his own gain. And then we cut to a new character. We're gonna call her Smoker. She always talking about cigarettes and shit. Anyway, her and this dude are stuck in this bathroom with a zombie, right? And they kind of handling it, but Catfish Evergreen pulls up and finishes it off. Now our main group is all in this room kind of chilling, and they sitting here talking about like who likes who, and like a zombie apocalypse just broke the fuck out, and y'all are like, what are y'all doing? Who cares who has a crush on who right now? But in the midst of all that, we see that Salty's friend got bit. Her nose starts bleeding and she's cold to the touch. So yeah, she is a zombie and they give her the Mufasa treatment. Then we get some quick flashbacks of her and Salty. They're like Japanese Claire's or other, I don't know, places, showing like they had a real close bond and this is gonna take a toll on Salty's mental health. Anyway, they decide to get some rope to climb down the window, right? So they get the fire hose from outside of the room where the zombies are. And Chicken like sticks his hand out to grab it. But why is this nigga sticking his hand outside of the room through a small little slit? He ain't got no peripheral vision. A zombie could have bit his hand and he put his, it don't make no damn sense to me. Anyway, they make it happen and they climb down to another room. At the start of episode 3, we see that Hoodie Girl had a little CGI baby in the bathroom. That's gonna be important later. And Chicken is hanging onto a rope with a zombie hanging onto his foot. Now Raid, he was in another room. He got out and he was climbing on the windows and he sees Chicken, so he helps him and they both get into the room with the rest of the cast. Anyway, they ain't got no phone, so they try and use the internet in this new room to get some help. But a zombie ends up coming down the rope and Goofy uses the computer to smack him and get the zombie off of him. Then Goofy nose started bleeding. Now Karen, she already ain't like Goofy, so she uses this as a perfect chance to antagonize him. She says that he's turned into a zombie and he's like, nah, I got hit in the nose. You all seen it. Then she's like, you got a scratch on your hand. He's like, yo, I got it from the computer. You all seen it. But Karen ain't having it. Like I said, she already didn't like him because he's poor, calling him like a welfare kid and stuff. So he goes into the adjacent room to like make sure he don't turn into a zombie for a bit. All the other kids are mad at Karen because she's honestly just being a bitch. Now we cut to Bully for a second. He's still sacrificing people in the cafeteria, and now he's got a knife. Now our main group, let me introduce you to like a few more characters. We got Big Boy here, kinda obvious. We got Korean Harry Potter, also kinda obvious, right? And this guy is Catfish Evergreen's little brother. Chicken's mom hears about the infection on the news, so I guess she like decides to head out and go save her son. Now, Goofy been in there for some time and he hasn't turned. They've already said that you turn in like 5 minutes and Goofy been in there for like 30. So Miss Park makes Karen go in there and apologize. But Karen being the Karen she is, she goes in there and tells him that he ain't shit anyway. But she does wipe his little cut with her handkerchief. Then later on that day, Goofy starts turning into a zombie. That's Chicken's best friend, so Chicken lures him out the window and watches him run off with the rest of the horde. Then we brief cut again to Hoodie Girl and her CGI baby. She got bit while she was running away with her baby, so she places the baby down inside a restaurant and ties herself up, and then she becomes a zombie too. Also, I ain't say nothing yet, but Salty's dad is a firefighter, right? And he's like rescuing people. He ends up getting stuck with like a Korean congresswoman or something. She's an important person. He wants to go save his daughter, but they're not letting him. Now, Karen's still in here talking shit, right? And Class Prez steps up and she's like, yo, I seen what you did. When you thought no one else was looking, you wiped the zombie blood off that stick over there. And then when you went in, you put that into his cut and you turned him into a zombie. You killed him. And being the true Karen she is, she cries, but can't take responsibility. So she decides to leave the group on her own. And the show's playing this sad ass music as she's walking out, but everyone fucking hates her, right? They should have like put in some banging ass Raid music, like. Anyway, Miss Park leaves too and goes after her, and we have no idea what happened to them for a bit. Next episode starts with this weird ass content creator dude, because all content creators are weird, right? He trying to pull up to the area where the zombies are to show everybody that it's real. It's nighttime now, and we see Chicken's mom, and she pulls up to the school finally. But the first person she runs into is Goofy, and Goofy's already a zombie. And Goofy and his boys eat her ass up. Depressed Girl and the other boy, they've been on the roof this whole time, and Depressed Girl, she's just like, yo, I'm tired of this, I'm gonna burn this place down, I want everyone to die. Now, Bully, on the other hand, he's over here running around, making his way, and he ends up in the principal's office. Back at the precinct, the cop guy's gonna take the teacher somewhere, but the zombies are already at that place too. Teach kind of looks at what he created and decides to sacrifice himself and let the cop know that his laptop at the school has all the info he needs, so the cop has to go get that. So cop gets on the way with like this little partner dude, and back at the school, it's morning time. Our main group decides to need more information and they need to go get the cell phones that are in a whole other room. And up on the roof, Depressed Girl leaves that other guy. Now, Depressed Girl left because, remember, she was being filmed naked and it was on the phone. So she wants to go to those phones and destroy it before it gets out to the world. But before she can get there, she gets eaten up by zombies. But in a weird turn of events, she gets up and she's fine. The zombies are even ignoring her ass. So she ends up in the room smashing all the phones, where Chicken and Raid are going to find the phone so they can get some help. Raid gets a phone and gets out, but Chicken ends up getting caught trying to stave off the zombies. But when Chicken makes it out of there, he ends up in the principal's office where Bully is. And Bully ends up killing the damn principal. Chicken was recording that joint the whole time with the phone that he got. And Bully ain't like that shit. So Bully's like, yo, I'm gonna kill your ass. Now, Catfish and group are on the move. Catfish says that she gotta find her little brother before they can escape. Raid makes it back to the rest of the group and he's like, yo, I don't know where Chicken is. We got separated. I'm sure you're gonna be all right though. But Chicken over here running away from Bully because he got that knife right, and they end up in the library. Now, Bully's got him pinned down and he's choking him, but Chicken got the phone in his hand and he like knocks his eyeball out. Then Bully falls and gets his ass eaten up by some zombies. After that, Chicken gets the hell out of there. The main group now remembers that there's a drone up in the science lab, so they're like, all right, let's go get that so we can see if there's any survivors around. So Harry Potter and Salty go up to get it. Then we see the cop and his little buddy end up in the place where the girl tied herself up where she had the baby, and the cop then takes on the responsibility of getting the baby to safety. Anyway, so they got the drone working and he's searching around, and then they see Chicken. And now that they know that Chicken's alive, they like expand their little search to go out and see if there's any survivors around. But then they see that one girl, Salty's best friend, her parents, she sees them in a car and she sees that they're dead and she's distraught. Then we cut back to Bully, and this nigga alive somehow. The teacher guy explains it, the antibodies and the virus stops mutating or attacking. I don't know, it don't make no sense. Anyway, Bully's alive, he's not a zombie, and the zombies are ignoring him. And he mad as shit. So our group devises a new plan to get out of this room. They're gonna play some music on the school intercom, but only on one side of the whole building to move all the zombies over there. Then they're gonna head to the roof going to the other side. But the plan doesn't go perfectly and they alert some of the zombies, right? Our boy Raid stays back to hold him off, but right before the zombie's kind of about to get him, Bully comes up and stabs a zombie for him. Bully asks him, yo, where's Chicken at? I'm trying to kill him. But Raid ain't having that, so he starts fighting him. And in the middle of the fight, Prez comes down to try and help, but Bully bites her ass in the arm. And before he can do any more damage, Raid pushes his ass out the window. Catfish, Evergreen, and the group make it over to the gym where they're safe and there's more arrows for him. Also, Salty's dad, we ain't been talking about him too much, right? But him and the politician lady in that group, they ended up in a quarantine zone, right? And this whole time, Salty's dad's been trying to go out and find Salty, but he hasn't been able to. So he beats up some guards and he takes their suits and he works on his escape. Back in the room, everyone sees that Prez has been bit and everyone's uneasy and shit. But Raid's like, all right, yo, we'll put it near this window and I'll be right here. If she turns, I'll throw her out the window. And even though she gets a strong urge to bite Raid in the neck, she never really turns. So I guess she's like one of them little hybrid zombies, kind of like Bully and Depresso now. All right, cut to the two cops and they about to leave with the little baby they found, right? And right when they finna go, this little girl start running around the corner. And I don't believe that no little girl that age and that size can survive in a zombie apocalypse by herself, but whatever. Anyway, Salty's dad escapes a little quarantine zone, and when he's running, all the other guards are shooting at him, and these motherfuckers can't hit a single shot. I mean, he running straight, it's an open plane, there's nothing obstructing their view, and they missing all their shots. But then you know what, he get in the water and we see he got hit a little bit. But that's not enough for me. All right, now here Raid and Prez like kind of confess they love for each other. It's a zombie apocalypse, I don't need that shit. They over there kissing, he got blood on his face, she just got bit by a zombie. Stop it, stop it. Depresso still walking around unhinged as fuck. She eating live goldfish and people. Also, Bully is up because they got like X-Men level healing factor now. And Bully ends up running into like the guy that was the little boss of their gang. And the boss guy tries to like boss him around as a boss does. And Bully ain't having that shit no more. So he gets him killed. The little police duo, they left on a little motorcycle with 2 kids in tow, right? And they end up where the content creator dude was. The main police guy gets off to help him, but the other one kind of leaves them there stranded. Back with our main cast, they've had to devise another plan to get out of another room. This time they're making this like whole barricade joint, and they're gonna let the zombies in while they're behind it, and then they're gonna get out the other door. Now in the quarantine zone, the assembly lady tells them, yo, y'all gotta send a helicopter to that high school to rescue those kids. So now our main group is up trying to get to the roof, but it's locked. The only person out there is that one boy that was with Depresso. He been out there the whole time on the roof. The zombies are right behind them, so they gotta start fighting them off. Dude not opening the door for him either, even though he sees him banging on it. Then Bully pulls up trying to kill Chicken, but Prez with her new powers comes over and like picks him up by the neck with one arm and throws him. I guess all these niggas just got powers now, and this is basically an anime. Anyway, they make it outside right as the helicopter is taking off, and it doesn't see them at all. The police guy that left our main officer comes back with a bus and the kids to save our main guy and the content creator. So shout out him. Now night is coming fast and the kids are on the roof, so they're trying to light a fire. You know, like a bunch of them are trying their hand at starting a fire manually. And it turns out that Prez got a lighter this whole time. Now, the police and content creator group are driving in that bus, and they end up hitting Depresso because she left the school on a little bike. Then they get ran up on by like the military, and this gets them all sent to the quarantine zone. Our main group has like a little heart-to-heart around the fire on the roof, talking about, you know, who they like and shit, which again is dumb in a zombie apocalypse. But they tell each other that everyone's got to stay alive so they can sit around a fire again as friends. We get a little flashback with Karen. She's been alone this whole time ever since she walked off. And then we see how Miss Park died. She got bit up by a bunch of zombies trying to protect Karen. Karen decides she's gonna leave because she's in like a little closet with some food and probably bring the food to everybody else. But she runs into Bully, who bites the shit out of her. This made me wonder if she's gonna become like another superpowered zombie, because when he bit Prez, she became superpowered. But anyway, in the middle of their kumbaya, Bully climbs all the way up to the roof to fight Chicken again. Now it's so weird because during this fight, like everyone teams up against Bully, but since he's got superpowers, he's fending them all off. But Prez, who picked him up by the neck earlier, is the only one just standing around in this fight. Then she finally wants to get involved. She's helping a bit, but she only throws him over right when he has Raid pinned to the ground. Like, why the hell she ain't jump in front at the start? Don't make no damn sense. Now, in the quarantine zone, the policeman is telling the military, like, yo, if you want to figure out what's going on with this virus joint, you gotta go to the science lab in that high school and get that teacher's computer. Also, at the quarantine zone, Depresso meets that boy that she was with, and then she just eats his ass. Which wasn't very smart, because she eats him in front of everybody in the middle of the quarantine zone where there's a bunch of cameras and stuff, so she gets locked up. Anyway, back at the school, the helicopter comes to try and save the kids and to get the laptop. They try and get the laptop first. They go down, clear the zombies, and they transfer the data, and they come back up and they're about to rescue our boys. But since old girl got captured for eating the dude in the quarantine zone, the military people realize that some people may be asymptomatic. So they're like, nah, don't take nobody from that school. So the military guys leave our people and they're all distraught that they didn't get saved. A little bit later, starts to rain on the roof and our peoples are happy because now they got something to drink. They decide they're gonna go up the mountain, but they gotta go through like the sports complex first. And as they're leaving, it's easier because the rain has dulled the senses of the zombies, so now they can't hear him walking around. So on the way, Chicken sees his mom, but obviously she's a zombie, right? No one else realizes that's his mom, so they start beating the brakes off her. And I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of rolling when this was happening. This shit was funny. Anyway, Chicken fights him off his mom, and then they all take off and keep going. Now, while they run in, this girl in the pink who's been unimportant almost like this whole time, she falls and she can't get up. Instead of helping her, this other girl runs the fuck off. So Chicken comes and helps her up. This is also when they run into Catfish Evergreen, and she starts picking off the zombies that are coming at them and shit. Now they all make it into the gym, but there's a bunch of zombies in there, so they all run into this closet. Then we see that the girl that then ran off and didn't help girl in the pink, she's a zombie now. So while in this room, they devise a plan to use all these cages that hold the balls. They're gonna tie them together and like form a shield around them so they can push the zombies away as they move towards the exit. Now they commence their little operation, and while they pushing, Harry Potter gets bit in the arm. So he does the noble thing, he jumps out and he starts trying to fight zombies off and pull them off everybody as they make it towards the door. And now my man Potter is a zombie too. Everybody getting clapped. Now, they were struggling to get the door open, but when they finally get it open, guess who's on the other side? Salty's dad. So now that they made it out the other side, and with Salty's dad in tow, they head up to the tennis court, because behind that is the mountain that they're trying to go up. But zombies kind of surround the whole fence around the tennis court, so they got nowhere to go. So Salty's dad takes it upon himself. He starts throwing some flares, which draw the zombies away, and he allows the kids to escape. He also traps all the zombies inside with him so they can't chase his daughter and the rest of the kids, sacrificing himself. Salty having to watch all her people get clapped. The kids get to this construction building that also has zombies in it, but they jump outside on one of these little like outside platforms, and now they're stuck again. This whole show really just them getting stuck in places and moving to another place while they telling each other how much they love each other or hate each other. Little bit of zombies sprinkled in. Anyway, while we're there, the military devises this plan, right? They figured out like what frequency really makes the zombies go off. So they're gonna deploy a whole bunch of drones and lead all the zombies to certain zones using that frequency, and then they're gonna bomb the shit out of them. While that's starting to happen, Bully catches up to our group again. This time though, he takes control of Chicken and bites the shit out of his arm. The sound from the drones, though, incapacitates him, and they hit him off of the ledge. Just like the third time he's fell from high up, they gotta know he's coming back. Anyway, Chicken knows what's about to happen, so he takes it upon himself to lure the zombies away from his people. And the rest of them go further up the mountain. Chicken and Bully have one last fight, but right in the middle of it, the missiles come down and blow up where they're at. And that's the last we see of Chicken and Bully. Now, at the start of the last episode, they go back to see like if Chicken is there somewhere, but they don't see anything. Prez, who has a good sense of smell now because she's a zombie, is like, yo, let's go. I don't smell him here no more. But we didn't see dude die or turn into a zombie. He could have turned into a powerful zombie and walked off. Who knows? The point is, we don't know if he's alive or dead. We just know he's not there. Anyway, now our group is going through like a neighboring city, and Prez is like, yo, there's some zombies on our ass. We gotta go. They can't escape them, so they gotta turn around and fight. And during this fight, Catfish Evergreen's brother gets bit right on top of her. So he's gone too. And then Prez starts tripping because she's hungry. So she kind of ditches the group. Then Salty and Raid go back and find her. And she's just munching on her body. She can't take it no more, so she runs off and leaves the group for good. The rest of them end up running into the military, and then they end up in a quarantine zone. They're there for a few months, and then they end up in like a camp for refugees or whatever. And Salty be going up like to this big ass hill sometimes that overlooks the school, and sometimes she'll see a fire down there. So she rounds up all the people that are left at the little refugee camp, and they go to the school to check the fire, and lo and behold, President walks out. And she's all like, oh my God, I'm happy we're friends. I can't go back with y'all though, because I met a bunch of niggas that are like me. I think this is hinting that Chicken is near. And then she jumps off the roof, and that's the end of Zombie Degrassi. My main question though is, why the hell did this girl survive? Like, what did she do this whole time? What did she add to the story? She really didn't even say shit. Like, I have no idea why the fuck